Anybody threaten you or coerce you in any way?
Kind of.
Okay, what do you mean, kinda?
I don't want to go to jail again, Your Honor.
Okay, but did somebody threaten you to plead?
Yeah, with jail time, Your Honor.
Okay, but who did that?
Well, technically, you, Your Honor.
So here's what I'll do. I'll pass it.
Things took a dramatic turn in Judge Simpson's courtroom when a routine hearing quickly spiraled out of control. What started off relatively calm escalated fast after the defendant accused Judge Simpson of threatening him, a claim that left many scratching their heads. After all, judges explaining the legal consequences of someone's actions isn't a threat. It's literally part of their job. But that moment was just the beginning. What followed was a complete unraveling as the defendant's erratic behavior turned a standard court appearance into a full-blown meltdown. Judge Simpson didn't miss a beat, firmly shutting down the antics and restoring order with authority. If you thought courtroom drama was just for TV, this real-life exchange proves otherwise. Let's break down exactly how it all went off the
with the people, and I'd like to enter that into the record. Your Honor, is it possible to enter into both today, to address both cases today on the record?
That file is not in the courtroom.
Oh, okay, got it.
But I can give you the bill deed that you answered.
Oh, sorry.
But I don't believe it's.
What? Okay.
Talking about bond.
All right, we'll just address this case today.
He's going to enter a plea in another case that's set for prelim.
Yes, yeah. So case 24F55262, just because of the timing with the mental health treatment court evaluation, that one was set for preliminary examination before the evaluation was complete. And that is currently set for exam.
So over there is Anne, right?
Yes.
You know Anne?
Yes.
Okay. So if you had this, that may work out where we could like get rid of two cases and he could plead. I may or may not do it, but usually just go over and ask Anne. Because you asked me on the record, I'll probably say no, because I don't do the filing, so I don't know where it is.
Understood. Yes. So I will.
So would you like to do that today?
I would like to.
So here's what I'll do. I'll pass it. Go talk to Anne.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, sorry. Ashley Bashir on behalf of Mr. Hampton. And in addition to addressing the case directly, we would like to address bond and request that a condition, specifically the home confinement tether, be reconsidered.
Okay, I'll get to that maybe at some point.
Good, thank you. Yeah.
Right now, I'm trying to get these pleas done.
Thank you.
So my understanding is he's going to plead to count in case ending in 1596. He's going to plead to count 2.
Yes.
Correct? With count 1 being dismissed. That's going to be a guilty plea. Correct, counsel?
Yes.
All right. Then on the other matter, I have a plea form that indicates that the defendant will be pleading guilty to an added count 2 of attempted resisting and obstructing the 1-year offense. Upon a successful plea to that charge, count 1, the resisting and obstructing, would be dismissed. And there is an agreement that the defendant is to go to mental health court. That's the court's full understanding of the agreement.
That's right.
May I have the defendant's sworn?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
State your name.
Brandon Hampton.
All right.
Man, it is this court's understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor offenses. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. The first one, in the case ending in 1596, is the charge of aggravated assault. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year incarceration and a $1,000 fine plus court costs. You understand that?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. You also understand in that case that while I'm taking your plea, I would not be your sentencing judge, and you would be sentenced before Judge Barr in the 14A2 District Court. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. And understanding that on that case, do you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right. On the other case, it says the court says court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to the charge of attempted resisting and obstructing a police officer. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year incarceration or $1,000 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You understand also that while I'm taking your plea, I would not be your sentencing judge, and you would be sentenced before Judge Valvo in the 15th District Court. You understand that?
Why are the judges different, Your Honor?
Why are the judges different? Because these allegedly occurred in two separate places. The case that we're just talking about with Judge Valvo, the offense took place in the city of Ann Arbor. And the other case happened in maybe the city of Ypsilanti in Ypsi City of Ypsilanti. I'm sorry, Ann Arbor Township. Okay. So they occurred in two separate jurisdictions. Okay. That's why you have two separate judges. But what's going to happen, I think this is probably really the crux of your question. You're going to go to mental health court on these, right?
Yeah.
So Judge Valvo is actually in charge of mental health court. So when that case goes over to her, that will be where it is. You'll have to go before Judge Barr. Judge Barr will do the initial part of the sentencing and then place you on probation to be supervised by the mental health court. Follow that? So it's just a little bit of a process. Both cases, it's anticipated, are going to end up in the same spot.
Okay.
Okay. You got that? Any other questions on that?
I guess it's not like possible for the other case just to go to Valvo as well.
It will get there. It just can't go directly that way.
Okay.
Okay.
For sure.
Anything else? Trust me, we do this all the time. It'll get there. So it'll catch right up to it. Okay. All right. Any other questions you have?
Just the one about bond, but
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. All right. So understanding all of that, you still wish to plead guilty to these charges?
yeah.
Okay. So to the charge of aggravated assault, how do you plead?
Guilty.
To the charge of attempted resisting and obstructing, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yeah.
All right. You signed an advice of rights form, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions regarding any of those rights?
No.
All right. You see a copy on the podium. Look at paragraph 5. Those are your rights which are part of a trial. You understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up those rights as well as all the rights on that form.
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation or parole?
Yeah.
Were you on probation at the time of these offenses?
No.
All right. Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead to these charges?
No.
All right. Anybody threaten you or coerce you in any way?
Kind of.
Okay, what do you mean, kinda?
I don't want to go to jail again, Your Honor.
Okay, but did somebody threaten you to plead?
Yeah, with jail time, Your Honor.
Okay, but who did that?
Well, technically, you, Your
The
Honor.
way this guy derailed his own case was honestly wild. He was actually doing pretty well, right up until he opened his mouth and claimed Judge Simpson was threatening him. Like, seriously, all the judge was doing was explaining the legal consequences of his actions. That's not a threat, that's literally how court works. Judges have the authority to send you to jail if you don't follow orders. That's not intimidation, that's just Tuesday in a courtroom. And the way he said it, a day might have. Just nuked his own plea deal. You can't plead guilty and then turn around and accuse the judge of threatening you. That's not just bad optics, straight up self-sabotage. Instead of owning up and moving forward, he flipped the script and tried to play the victim. Whether he was trying to be clever or actually believes this twisted legal fantasy is anyone's guess. But either way, it tanked the whole vibe. What? Do you think? Was he just running his mouth, or does he truly believe this courtroom delusion?
And so I stated the terms on the record. And Mr. Hampton, I'm going to ask you a couple questions again.
Okay.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead to these charges?
No,
Has anybody threatened you or coerced you in any way to get you to plead?
no,
You're doing this voluntarily,
yes,
of your own free will,
yes,
and because you believe that you're guilty of these offenses?
yes.
All right. We'll start with case 1596. Paperwork. So, okay, Mr. Hampton, on the date of August 29, 2024, at Washtenaw Community College in Ann Arbor Township, Washtenaw County, State of Michigan, do you recall what happened on that date regarding a Vladimir, is it Parahora?
I don't know, Your Honor.
All right. Did you get into a fight with somebody?
Oh, I know what happened. I don't know what his name is. It sounded like.
Okay. Why don't you tell me what happened then?
Oh, I was trying to take a shower, Your Honor.
Okay. And then what occurred?
When I was in the locker room, he had pushed me up against the wall, hit me in my head, and threw me on the ground. And then broke in my property.
Okay, but before that, did you do anything before that?
No,
Okay.
it wasn't until there were 4 people on top of me and I was fearing for my life that I bit him, Your Honor.
Okay.
The way Judge Simpson handled that moment was impressively calm and composed, like explaining courtroom procedures to a toddler in full meltdown mode. Major credit to the judge for keeping his cool, because most people would have lost their patience by now. Now, as we head into the next part of the hearing, the defendant's at a clear crossroads. He can either wise up and finally accept how the legal system actually works, or he can double down on the delusion and give us all a front row. See to a masterclass in how to completely derail your own case in record time. If he picks the latter, buckle up, it's about to get messy. What do you think? Will he finally snap out of it? Or are we in for another courtroom train wreck? Let's dive back in and find out.
Because I can see the way that this plea's going, it's not going to work. So if you guys want to change, I'm not suggesting you guys want to change things to a no contest. If you want to do whatever, what I will do is I'm back up at 1. I'll call it back up at 1. I think everybody's still going to be here. So, and give you a chance to talk with him, decide whether or not you want to do no contest, please explain what a no contest, go through all of that with him, and then see if we can get this done.
Thank you very, very much, Your Honor. Appreciate it. Thank you.
This is a prime example for me of no good deed goes unpunished. All right, so we'll call it back up at that point. Quarter past these matters again. All right.
We actually, based on the most recent conversation with my client, I will actually seek to adjourn this case for to further advise my client on the offer.
All right.
For the shortest adjournment possible.
February 13th. Both matters.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Canceling witness.
Both matters? I don't have to come on.
Well, that's true. What are we doing with, well, when is the exam set?
Tuesday, the 28th.
Yes, so apologies. We can, I'd be happy to stip to adjourn that, the exam or for the other case.
Well, you're gonna need a step on the exam.
Yes.
Because I only took it because there was gonna be a plea. When do you want the other one adjourned to?
When is the soonest?
I'll set this, I'll adjourn the
After the
1596. I'll adjourn 1596 to February 6th. The other one is stay on track for a preliminary examination. I understand that people are not going to have the witnesses available, or you need a stipulation to adjourn that out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The exact moment everything fell apart. You can literally see it the second his chances just vanished. This guy was on track for a light sentence, maybe just a fine or a few weeks in jail at most, but nope. He had to open his mouth and challenge Judge Simpson like he was auditioning for a debate team, and now he's about to face the full force of a judge who's officially done playing games. Let's be real, judges don't take kindly to courtroom antics, especially when someone disrespects the process or wastes their time. This dude already accepted a plea deal. It was done. All he had to do was follow through. But instead, he flips the script mid-hearing and suddenly starts acting like he's innocent. It's like watching someone set their own parachute on. Fire while skydiving. Absolute chaos. This is textbook self-sabotage, turning a manageable situation into a complete disaster. What do you think? Did he just throw away his last chance? Or is there still a sliver of hope left? Personally, I think he's cooked. Let's be honest, it makes 0 sense. Schoolie and I were just saying, why take the plea deal if you never planned to follow through? My guy, you had the easy way out and just chucked it straight in the trash. Now, instead of walking away with a slap on the wrist, he's staring down months, maybe more, behind bars. And for what? To argue with a judge. Okay, maybe it wasn't full-blown arguing, but that smug attitude and backtalk definitely didn't help his case. Look, I get that mental health might be a factor here, and that's important. But he had a lawyer. Someone literally told him what to do, and he still chose to go full speed in the opposite direction. It's wild. On the bright side, serious respect to Judge Simpson. A lot of judges would have snapped and thrown this guy in jail on the spot. But instead, Simpson stayed calm, explained things clearly, and gave him multiple chances to get it together. That's more than fair. At some point, though, you've just got to accept that some people are determined to self-destruct, and when they do, the court can only stand back and let the consequences play out. And that's exactly what happened here. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. Let me know what you thought about this hearing. Was Judge Simpson fair, or would you have handled it differently? And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I post content like this every day. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.